welcome you all to this special workshop on the Tetfund National Research Fund. Obviously, everybody, I'm very sure, scholars are aware that the workshop is designed to give us a rudiment on how to access special grants that are related to National Research Fund. Without wasting time, we want to declare the program open today. It's a continuous program, and the Vice Chancellor of this great university will do that. Our university is known for making sure that efforts are placed on what we call the tripartite mandate of academic, teaching, research, and of course, community development. But today, what we call scientific investigation of observatory occurrence, what we call phenomena, is our area of emphasis today. That is research. But it is not research alone, but research that will bring money into our pockets at an individual level, and of course, at the university level. Grant has been a very good source of funding of university most in the world today. And I'm very sure our own will not be an exception, because the effort that is put placed in it by the current administration is the immeasurable one. Thank you very much. The national anthem, the Ogun State anthem, and of course, ONABANJO University anthem to formally declare the program open. Nigeria, we hail thee, our only native land, the tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honor, and this we count as gain. To hang on to our children a banner without stain.
OLABISI, ONABANJO University. We are the pride of our father's land. Caring of character and with knowledge approves. He lays a trail in a mother's land. Excellencia, humana ever tables, not only for us, but also people around the world. He shines the light of the knowledge gained. Oh, you grace, oh, you grace, falling on the stage and shining on the heavens. We are the pride of the world today.
Thank you very much. Let's be seated. Distinguished scholar, other distinguished members of the audience, once again I welcome you to the Tetfund National Research Fund workshop. Quickly, I want to introduce to you the distinguished members of the university management here present today. The Vice Chancellor is leading the team, our own distinguished scholar, an intellectual entrepreneur, I call him, and of course a citizen scholar who knows what the environment requires and making sure that adequate research and output from such research are used to settle these problems. I introduce to you a distinguished alumnus of this great university, Professor Ayodeji Olayinka Johnson Agbola. Also, before I introduce our distinguished visitors today, let me introduce the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic to you today. Another distinguished scholar from this great university, Professor Olatundu Abosede Oderinde, DPC Academic. Also in our midst is Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Charles Olufemi Adekoya. May I now specially introduce to you the new custodians of rules and regulations in this great university, the Chief Administrative Officer of this great university, the Registrar, the new Registrar, Secretary Council of OLABISI ONABANJO University, a man that has a title that is very relevant to the University Academy or academia in general. I introduce to you Dr. Bayo Olukotan, the new Registrar of OLABISI ONABANJO University. Also in our midst today is another distinguished scholar, the University Librarian, Professor Nike Olufade. Of course, I prefer mentioning Nike because it's very, but Fentola Nike Olufade is a company. In case you see Fentola before Nike next time, it is not wrongly spelled. Thank you very much. Pardon me, in our news today is the ex-checker of this great university. I call him the Chancellor of the ex-checker of this great university, Mr. Bossa. He's a master sitting by the right here, Mr. Femi Shonwu, FC. You have to look at the name very well before you will pronounce that name. Thank you very much. Distinguished members, let me not forget to introduce to you the personality, the distinct scholar that is behind the workshop of today. Is the new Director of Research in OLABISI ONABANJO University. I introduce to you a distinguished Professor of Sociology, Professor Richard Aporishade. Sorry, I'm just trying to register. You are most welcome, sir. I have today a distinguished member of management of Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, Professor Kayode Akinyemi. I equally have another distinguished scholar here from Osun State University, Professor Olukoya Oge. Thank you very much. Without wasting time, sir, the Vice Chancellor, other distinguished members of the audience here, let me quickly invite the Director of Research in OLABISI ONABANJO University, a professor, the Professor of Sociology, Professor Richard Aporishade, to step forward and give the welcome address. Professor Aporishade, please.
Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics, and Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, other members of the management team, Provost and Deans, here present, Head of Departments, distinguished professors, and colleagues. It is with utmost pleasure that I welcome you all to this event, which is made possible by the vision of our distinguished Vice Chancellor in respect of building a research culture. The university needs to build a research culture where we continue to do research seamlessly. And in order for that to happen, we will be equipped with the right resources. And that's exactly why we are here, for us to get enough knowledge about how to go about applying and winning grants, which will serve as the resources for us to be able to do our research. There are several benefits that come with winning grants, and I want to reiterate just about 3 or 4 of them. The first is that, well, we are all aware of our present socio-economic realities as far as the country is concerned, and it will be a hard bargain for us to probably be talking about using our salaries and other revenue that we have to run our research. That is why it is utmost very important for us to do or to apply for grants and get grants for our research, and also it will enable us to do the kind of research that will give us data and papers that can be accepted abroad, talking about reputable international journals that will also increase the increase the rating of our university. That is actually the vision of the Vice Chancellor. It is already stated in the strategic plan that we have copies of, and he wants to see this through. That is why last week when we had our workshop meeting, he was there all through. if not for the fact that there is a meeting today, he would have been with us all through as well. That is to show you that he really wants to be with us and he wants to support us. And we just have to key into this line, into this strategic vision in order for us to be able to move our university forward and achieve all what we need to do. We have brought our resource people today that will help us do that. They have been well experienced as far as this grant is concerned, assessing the applicants of this grant. So we also have here with us that 29 concept notes written so that you are going to be assessing for us. While we had the event meeting at the Vice Chancellor's office this morning, they said they are not only going to check it for us today, but they are going to follow it through, even to propose that stage and until when the grants are won. So they are going to support us all through the way. So after this event, those of us with the concept notes, let us wait behind and see them while they read through, tell us what to do, and according to them, they will continue to check on it until when it is perfected to be submitted and eventually even still support us all the way. All right, so without much ado, we are going to start. I will welcome the Vice Chancellor now to give us the opening remarks before our resource people will now take the floor. Thank you all for coming.
Because this program is to be declared open by the S1 of this great university, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Ayodeji Olayinka Johnson Abola. So we can start the program. Thank you, sir. We can appreciate the Vice Chancellor more than that. Thank you.
The principal officer of the university, facilitators, deans, heads of department, professors, and their policy are present. My work is very simple, just to declare it over and do. But I want to assure you that in this journey of grant winning, grant writing, research proposals, we are all in it together. And you can recall that right from the time that I assumed office, it has always been emphasis on research and research and research. And that was why we started with the postgraduate school, having introduced seminars to postgraduate students, because you know most of the time, postgraduate students are the one carry out all this research, we only supervise them. And so if they know how to carry out the research, they make it easier. We follow it up with grant winning approach. We also recall that we brought Professor Babiro at the time. We also brought Professor Obo and a host of others like that. But from across the line, we are able to learn one or two things. And that is why we are doing it differently today. In the past, we only give the seminar and stop at that. Nobody look at your concept notes at that time. But today, we want to make it a practical business. We are knowledgeable about how to write all this, but I may be missing gap here and there, what they are looking for. And since we are not part of those people that are looking for those details, we need to go and look for those people that are looking for those details so that we all know what and what they are talking about. So we can also channel our energy toward that line. The two of them that we brought today, they are members of the NRF selection committee. So they are not people that will not be talking from the theoretical aspect. They are going to be talking to us in a practical form because they've assessed several over the years. So they will be able to talk to us on that line. And with the commitment we also got it from them today at the office, they are not going to stop at this looking at concept note today. They are going to follow it up. So I want to plead with all of us, they might trouble you the more. Ask you to look at the concept note 2, 3, 4 times or 5 times to make it a perfect one before the submission. After that, we wait for the call for full proposal. We believe that out of all those ones, we're going to get so many to also come for full proposal. When it is full proposal, we are going to also trouble you the more. We are not going to leave it for you alone. When you finish, we give a time limit for you to write it so that we can all look at it, and we will also be looking at it for us, checking the details, but we are sure that we can then go ahead and make that submission. We cannot do things the same way and expect a different answer. So we want to see if we can change the approach today. I'm believing that with this approach that we are going to change, a different story will also be seen. Lastly, my dear colleagues, don't let us just rely on NRF alone. There are so many grants out there that we can also lay our hands on. And from this section, we are going to be having those grant applications and those places that are advertising it long time before the deadline. Most of the time what we have is a fire brigade goal. It's going to end maybe 2 weeks time, 3 weeks time. You cannot write a good proposal with that kind of notice. We are taking it upon ourselves. We will be sending those grant application notice to all of us. Please be watch out. Whatever you get today is also going to be useful for other grants, not NRF alone. And I believe that there's a difference between basic research and applied research. What we are talking about now is applied research that will have meaning that the funders want to see that we are solving problem for us. The SDGs are there. Look at the one that is very good that we are linked with, so that we can also be part of those people that are solving this country's problem. And thank you for the opportunity for calling you to be here as well, because you might call, you might also not be here. It's not a criteria for promotion. That if you don't attend, you won't be promoted. If you don't attend, you won't pay salary. So there's nothing that can hold on to. There's because of the commitment, because of the love, because of the fact that we want to be an international scholars, not a local one. Lastly, for those of us that are still within the university here, within the campus, leave your corner of the office and come here. Even if you are watching it, you cannot be disabled. Because they are going to be looking at your concept note physically and be able to correct you. One-on-one is better than when you are just watching things, do it this way, do it that way. Like the surgeons used to say, if you are seeing surgeons 100 times, the day you take the knife to cut, you know that it's not the same. Because that's when you then see that some of them are having Parkinson. Because they have not been doing it. So when you are watching and you have not done it yourself and one-on-one, it cannot be the same. So I encourage you to come. Before we leave, everything will be sorted out. I'll be going for a meeting now with the police officers, but I can assure you, as soon as I finish that meeting, I'll be back here. I have this commitment have this passion for this program that we are doing, and I can assure you that we said we are all in it together. And this time around, by God's grace, instead of having one, I'm very sure you can multiply it by 10. You know, 10 shall be the minimum, and we can go to 20, we can go to 30. I'm very sure those people that have not written their concept note, after today they will still go and write their own. As at this moment, we are having nothing less than 29 concept notes that we can look at. But I believe that between now and the end of the week, you can still get double of that. But please make sure you write it on time so that they can follow it through with you and be able to get to the promised land. Thank you very much for listening.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, we have come today and we are now at the point where we will now invite our distinguished scholars, I call them 60 scholars, who will come forward and tell us the intrigues. It is more than identifying phenomena or what we call concept papers. It is more than just investigating the phenomena scientifically. It is more than getting the results. It is more than the impact on the society. But this time around, the intrigues that will bring out that thing we call grants. On this note, I want to invite a distinguished member of the University Management of Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, who is currently the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academy, Professor Akiyemi. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Professor Akiyemi. Thank you very much.
Distinguished colleagues, let me also thank you for coming for this exercise, this meeting. Just as the Vice Chancellor said, and the other speakers have also said, we are going to have a short time of presentations, and after that we do what we call clinic or interactive sessions, where we'll be looking at our concept notes. So let's have the PowerPoint presentation. While they are putting that on, well, just to also let us know that this money is all out there. Tetfund has made available to researchers in Nigeria every year 5 billion naira for NRA. That's a lot of money. And that gives you some level of assurance that the government of this nation is also not joking when it comes to research. And when you have 5 billion the year before the last, 5 billion last year, there's some researchers already on their research. They got a part of the money. And the good thing is that once you have started your research, and then you are not closed out, you are not entitled again to apply for the current cycle, which means that there are a lot of researchers who are already working and they cannot apply for this particular current academic session. So it simply means that the money is still there. And then those of us who have not wanted any NRF grant before, then the chance is as wide as compared to anyone. You can apply, you can get the grant is there. And I can assure you that all you need to do is just to cross some T's and dot some I's. Let me ask some big questions. How many of us have applied for NRF before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So that's good. That's a very good experience. You have applied before, but for some reasons you are not here. I think the best bet. So how many of us have a concept notes here? And have submitted a concept notes. Okay. How many of us have submitted to science, engineering, technology, and innovation? That's set here. Only one. Only one. That's interesting. So that means that the vast majority are for humanities and social sciences. How many of us are for humanities and social sciences? What's happening? I can see only one hand also. Let me ask again. How many of us have submitted to SETI, what we call SETI, Science, Engineering, Technology, and Innovation? That's 3. Okay.
Then how many of us have submitted to humanities and social sciences? No, I'm talking about how many of us have prepared our concept notes for humanities and social sciences? For 1, 2, 3. 3, so 3 for SETI and 3 for sciences, for humanities. Okay, how many of us have prepared our concept notes to be submitted to cross-cutting? You have prepared your concept for cross-cutting thematic category. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so the profit side is also there. Okay, let me start this way. Now, one of the things that you need to take very serious when you want to prepare for NRA is to check some documents, and this is very important. How many of us have taken time to look at the announcement as advertised on the pages of newspapers? Have you seen the advertisement before? How many? Only 1 or 2 or 3. So the starting point actually is to look at that adverts. So take the adverts, and it's everywhere. The director can make it available. If you don't have it, I can also make it available. We can give it to you before we go today. Is to do, that's the starting point. Because, like I told the VC when we were having a meeting within that, our researchers are very brilliant when it comes to writing concept notes and proposals. But the only difference is that there are a few things that they don't get right. And that's why some of us are submitting and we're not getting the grants. And so the most important thing is like get the announcements. There are some few things that are hidden, embedded in that announcement that you need to know. Don't let somebody else interpret that advertisement to you. Are you getting me? It's written in English. And it's clear enough. There are few things that you will see. And by the time you see it, this one is also going. Get the advertisement. Number 2, how many of us have visited the Tetfund NRF portal before? Good. About 6 or 7 of us. After studying the advertisement, the next thing you need to do, because there are few things that are not on the adverts that are written and kept on the portal. So it's not going to take you a long time. 30 minutes. Just go there, download whatever is there, you go through it and study it. It's like what we call origio. You know, we are all lecturers, we are all academics. When you are setting your exams, your questions, just ask you, can you give us contribution? Those things are there. So go to the portal, download the details of the advertisement. What's on the advert is just like 10% of the information that you need to know. Are you getting me now? Yeah. So, number 1, what's the first one? What's the second one? Download information and study it. Nigerian research brief. How many of us have heard about it before? Nobody? Only one person. That's fine. It is called research brief. It was put together by the members of the National Research Fund Screening and Monitoring Committee to be able to provide information about research activities in this nation. In fact, it is called a project advisory document. It's like your Bible and your Quran. It gives a kind of direction. Where are we going as a nation? What are the priorities in terms of research? What are the things we are going to fund this year? What are the important issues we are discussing? What are the areas we are going to emphasize? So, where can you get it? Again, it's on the portal. Go there and download it. Then the first important issue now, which all of us are aware of, is what I call the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. You need to understand all those SDGs and know where your research lies. Which of the SDGs is your research trying to address? The second one is what? The what? NRF portal. Go there and download the information. What's the third one? B. The National Research Brief. The National Research Brief. And what's the last one? SDG. Now, there are 3 categories that we normally fund when it comes to research under NRA. I'll talk about it today. The first one is called SETI. And that's the one I'm going to talk about. Prof will now talk about what we call humanities and social sciences.
SETI is called Science, Engineering, Technology, and Innovation. SETI, Science, Engineering, Technology, and Innovation. And I also talk briefly about cross-cutting, because cross-cutting is the third category. And it's called cross-cutting because it cuts across both the humanities and social sciences, as well as what? The science, engineering, technology, and innovation. Thank you very much. So please, let's go on. Go to the next slide, please. But because we updated what we call the National Research Brief for the entire country, and we saw that we needed to address some important issues, then we added these 3 priority areas, which are also now in red. So it becomes 11 thematic areas. The first one there is agriculture and food security. So those of us who are in animal science, because you need to understand where you're going to put your concept note. That's very key. A lot of us miss it even at the point of submission. A lot of us miss it even at the point of submitting to a wrong thematic area. So the question people ask us wherever we go is that, where do I submit my concept notes? You're working on animal breeding, animal nutrition, animal production, pasture, whatever it is. You're trying to develop new breeds of crops or new breeds of animals, new varieties, whatever it is. Or you're in engineering, maybe mechanical engineering, agricultural engineering, and you're trying to develop or fabricate a machine that can improve some areas of processing or harvest, whatever it is. Or you're working on areas of food security, then that's your place where you're going to submit your concept notes. Look at the second one there, health and social sciences and social welfare. Whatever. You are working on hypertension, either you are in medicine, veterinary medicine, biochemistry, microbiology, whatever that has to do with health. You are trying to address some issues about diabetes. You are trying to work on crops or some plants and trying to extract some active ingredients that can address some health issues, whatever it is. And that's the place to submit your concept notes. And it doesn't matter. You may even be in botany or zoology. So it depends on the core of your research to know where you're going to submit to. Now the third one is transport. I'll talk about transport later on. Nigeria has very serious issues when it comes to transport. Our transport science is extremely chaotic as a nation. No direction, no policy. And so we are trying to address fundamental issues in areas of transport. And I'm going to tell you some things about transport later on as we move on. If you're in civil engineering, for example, you are in structural civil engineering, you are working on structures, that's the place to go. Or you're in geotechnics, you're trying to work on road failures, that's the place to submit. Or maybe you are trying to develop some packages, some applications that will redesign the chaotic operations in Nigeria, the transport situations in Nigeria. That's the place to submit. So that's also very important. Now, power and what? Are you seeing it?
Energy.
You are not seeing it. The power and what? Energy. That's very key. That's a priority. Why? We have very serious issues of energy in Nigeria. Atmospheric physics, whatever it is. You're working on GIS, whatever it is, that's the place to go. Because it's called space science, you're working on remote sensing, applications, and all of that. That's the way to submit your concept note. And of course, geosciences, geochemistry, geophysics, whatever it is, even geobotany, whatever, that's the place to submit your concept note. Then you now go to water. How many of us are in water? Nobody. Wow. And we are all drinking water. And nobody is doing research on water. Nobody is working on water here. You said? They are joining online. College of Engineering. It doesn't have to be only College of Engineering, no. Microbiology. Zoology. Yes, you can also work on water. Because water is very key. We are talking about water purification, developing some purifiers, and all of that, some applications that can help. Even those of us in IT, you can also work on water. It's very key. Then the next thing is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. We have very serious infrastructural deficit as a nation. And that's why we have updated our national research brief, and we have placed a priority on infrastructure. In fact, it's like declaring emergency on infrastructure. And so if you are in engineering, in sciences, even if you are in the humanities, whatever, and you are trying to develop some solutions in areas of infrastructure, you are welcome. And finally, you have sustainable use of natural resources and terrestrial efforts. Please go to the next slide. One thing that is very key is that wherever you are going to submit to, you must have it at the back of your mind that a critical mass of assessors, please, I said, don't leave that place. You are working too fast. Good, just next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yes. The critical mass of experts that will assess your concept notes are in IT. And so even though you are submitting on engineering, you must speak the language of what? Of IT. You are free to go anywhere. That's the truth of the matter. For as long as your concept notes is relevant to that area, but you must also have it at the back of your mind that the people who are going to assess it, the bulk of the experts there are in that field. And they sat down there quietly and jejely. You are the one that went to meet them. And so you are welcome, but you must understand their language and you must speak their language. And that's why the issue of multidisciplinary approach is very important. That's what we emphasize all the time. All the time. The second thing is that you must have an idea of the traffic direction. This is very key. And now I'm going to talk about transport. Please go to the next slide now. This is now the traffic direction. What you have seen over the years that we have been assessing NRF grants. Those of us who are in SETI, I'm not going to talk about humanities because Prof will talk about humanities, but for SETI and cross-cutting, the direction has always been from what? Health and social welfare to space science and technology. The most subscribed of all the thematic areas has always been health and social welfare. What does that mean? It means that if you are submitting your concept note to health and social welfare, you are competing with a large crop of experts, scientists all over the nation, and you have to tighten your belts and buckle your sandals because the subscription rate to that particular area is very what? Very high. Everybody wants to go to health and social welfare, microbiology, biochemistry, medicine, veterinary medicine, everybody. They are welcome. And that is why you may end up scoring 80 or even 70% in your concept note, and yet you will not fly. Because you are going to have a lot of people scoring 75, 76, 81, 89. Many people. Because the subscription rate is very high. Now, closely related to that is agriculture and what? And food security. That's the next place. Everybody wants to submit to agriculture and food security. And it's understandably so. Because a lot of us are in areas of agri. Everybody wants to work in agri and contribute to food security. Now look at that. The least subscribed of all the 11 thematic areas is what? Transport and what? Space science. I said I was going to talk about it. There were some years that, as big as this country is, I don't know how many universities we have now, but it's getting close to 200 universities in Nigeria. We don't have any submission of any scientist all over the country to transport. It was as bad as that. There are some times that we never had submissions, or had very few submissions to space science and what? And technology. So I'm saying this because some of us will say, I knew what I did. I submitted a very brilliant concept note, and I know let them take it to even Washington. Let them go and mark it anywhere. Something must have gone wrong with that thing. I know what I put there. So you must know what is happening there. Because the competition is very high in some very thematic areas, and very low. So what we did is that for these thematic areas now that are not as subscribed, we are not trying to encourage as many academics as possible to also now bring in their concept notes and submit. But I tell you now, the situation has changed.
I'm giving you what happened about 4 years ago, about 3 years ago. Now we are having submissions into transport and into space science and technology, but obviously not as high as what you have in agri and what? And health. So if you're in areas of health, congratulations. If you're working in agriculture, congratulations. But I tell you, your concept note, you are competing with a large volume of researchers all over the country. Because that's where many people are submitting their concept notes to. So it must be very, very, very high. The quality has to be very high before you can actually progress. Now for cross-cutting, the traffic situation is also from what we call environment, housing, and urban and regional management. And it's also understandably so. A lot of submissions, a lot of concept notes, everybody from the Nigerian universities, most of them are pumping their concept notes to this particular area. And to also surprise you that the least subscribed under cross-cutting is blue economy. And should that be? Does it make sense as a nation that researchers are not working in areas of blue economy to the extent that even the Nigerian government now has established a ministry of what? Of blue economy, because it's a priority. And so researchers should also begin to, please go to the next slide, begin to think about some of these things. Just to give you some information. So this is the process. The process is very clear. Now we are announcing for, we have made advertisement for concept notes. You're going to submit your concept notes. The concept notes will be assessed. And after assessment, the successful ones now will be called upon to submit their full proposals. And then proposals will be assessed. And after this, move to this side, please, so that you can see. And then from evaluation of full proposals now, the feedback will be given to you as proponents of full proposals. And after which, those of them that are successful will be invited for oral defense over there at Abuja. And then, if you are also very successful, then at that point, you are good to go. So recommendations will be passed on to the DOT, and then the next thing is for them to write you and say, congratulations, you have won NRF grants. I want to believe that many of us will get that congratulations. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're here. Now, concept notes. Let's move on now. Now, before, when NRF started, there was something like concept notes. It was full proposal stage straight. They are called upon to write your full proposals. But because of the large volume of submissions coming to NRF, we felt that we need to prune down or to sort out some of these things and get the best of the best and introduce the idea of concept note. But listen to me, please. Concept note is the most important. Of all the stages I've shown you, from concept note to evaluation, to proposal, to evaluation, to feedback, and then to oral defense, and then to recommendations to the DAT, concept note is the most important stage. So the stage you are now is actually the most critical, and I'll tell you why. Unfortunately, a lot of our researchers don't put attention to concept notes. We have also observed that many of the times, people don't put rigorous thinking, people don't put rigorous analysis into concept notes. They are waiting until the time they will get to full proposal. But I want to let you know that if you're not very careful, many of those concept notes will never get there in the first instance. You know why? It's too bold. It's too bold. The reason is because there are fewer things to score. We tell you that your concept note must not exceed how many words? 1,500 words. For proposal, you are free to write as much as you can. And so there are fewer things to score, and so there is no hiding place. Minor errors are usually not overlooked for concept notes. And that's why a lot of concept notes do not even transit to proposal stage. Not only that, 75% don't even proceed in the first instance, and then the best practice is to extract a concept note from the draft proposal, not the other way. What am I trying to say? You are trying to submit your concept note. If I were you, don't start just with the concept note. This one will tell people everywhere. Actually, do it as if you are preparing what? A full proposal, and then you not extract your concept note from it. The thinking behind it is much, much better. Other than for you to say, well, let me just do the concept note. By the time you come in for a proposal, and not sit down and do serious work, that person will never get there in the first instance. And that's what is very important. We also see that many of us we do what we call old concept notes. We just dust them and resubmit. I was asking how many of us have submitted concept notes before, and I saw 5 hands here. Don't just pick what you have submitted before and dust them. It doesn't work. So go back as if you want to start afresh. And then let the thinking start afresh. Let the conceptualization start afresh. You begin to see some new things there. Some new ideas will come in. And then you check the literature review. You will find out that even research has gone beyond what you have submitted last year. So don't just process and then you dust and wash. That's not the way it goes. Move on, please. I just want to give you a simple example. This was the 2023 cycle. In 2023 cycle, you have 540 proposals, concept notes assessed under the cross-cutting. And then, look at the number successful on this side. How many? You are not seeing it? 130 what? Successful. Out of what? Out of 140, which means that 80% actually dropped out. That's why I was telling you the concept note is the most important. Is the most important. Is the most important. If you cross from concept note to full proposal, I tell you your chances are very high that you would get the grants. So you must take it very seriously. Now look at SETI, for example. You have 2,000, almost 3,000 submissions, concept notes, and how many made it eventually? 978. And what's the percentage? 67% lost out. So that's why we say that 75% naturally will not make it to full proposal. It's because of the large number of submissions coming. And that's why you have to take it also very seriously. Please just move on because of time. Go on, go on. Go on, please. Leave that one also, go to the next one. And so now, come back. So those of us who are in sciences, now the first thing you want to do is that where are you submitting your concept notes? That must be very clear in your mind. And when I say clear in your mind, I also advise you see, all of those thematic areas, they have what they call documentations about them. When I say water and sanitation, for example, it's not just water and sanitation. A lot of things have been written about water and sanitation, so that you know whether actually you are fit for that particular thematic area. When I say science and engineering, you need to go and study what is science and engineering. And what's the specification about science and engineering? What do they want from science and engineering? This particular concept note, does it fit into science and engineering before you submit it there? Because it's also very key. Now the title is also very important. The title of the work. We also discovered that 7 out of 10 titles, they are not worth it. 7 out of 10 titles are not worth it. And you also understand as academics that when assessors look at the title and they are put off, naturally it affects their psyche. So your title is very important because that's your face, that's the first thing you see as assessor. You look at your title, what are you trying to present? And so you have to look at the title. So when we are looking at your concept note now, we start from the title. So when we ask people to change this one, add this one, subtract this one, and all of that, that's the reason why we are looking at it that way. So that's what's very important. Then, of course, the motivation, the project background. Now, the second one is a statement of the problem. I'm going to emphasize this because it's very important. Because grant is not a research article. Are you following? Grant is not a research article. You are trying to ask for money from somebody, and before that person can give you money, he wants you to use that money to address a particular problem. And so the statement of the problem is very important. What problem are you trying to solve? You must make it very clear. It has to be very clear, unambiguous, detailed. You are trying to address X, Y, Z problems. But many of us don't take it very seriously. I want to give you money to address problems, and then there's a problem of polio in Nigeria, and then this is the burden of poliomyelitis, and then this is the percentage. I want to bring it down from a particular percentage to a lower percentage, and so I'm making X amount of money available for researchers. So that's the goal. So the funders have goals, and so you are trying to solve the problem. You must be very clear the problem you want to address in the first instance. So the statement of the problem is very key. And I keep telling people, when you are describing statement of problem, you don't discuss it like using flowery languages and then all those synthetic words. and then you can say that the burden of hypertension in Nigeria has become abysmally high. It does not appeal to anybody. Give us the data. Give us the statistics. What's the percentage? Don't use flowery words. Don't try to paint it and say it has become increasingly bad. Doesn't. This is science. And because science now will deal with data and statistics. So when you are working on your statement of problems, you must understand the currency of that problem, the details about the problem, and then you give us the data. In fact, when we are trying to look at your statement of the problem, we are looking for the data. Where is the data? Where is the statistics? Where are the figures? What are the numbers? The numberless statement of the problem, if you are just describing, you are just writing essay. No matter how beautiful it is, unfortunately, it's not going to go. And statement of the problem is an important part of the concept note. If you drop marks in the statement of the problem, I tell you this, you're not likely to make it to the end. And so the objectives are also clear. The objectives in science must be clear. It shouldn't be too many, it shouldn't be too few. And your objectives must come straight from your statement of the problem. How we know you're trying to address this particular problem? There's a problem of water pollution in this particular place, and you are thinking what is causing the water pollution. Maybe there are some things around, and all of that, and so you're going to carry out a lot of research to address it. So so your objectives must be smart, as you normally say it. The reason is this: if you say you're going to do a research for 2 years, when I come to meet you in 6 months' time, if I give you grant today, and I come to meet you for monitoring and evaluation, in 7 months' time, I want to see which of the short-term objectives you have accomplished, you have achieved. That's the reason. Because if I see all of them must be long-term, what if something happens? That means money will just go down the drain. So that's the whole idea. We are monitoring it right from the beginning, in 6 months, in 7 months, which of them are you? There are 7 of them, okay, 1 is gone, 2 is gone, 3 is gone. We say, yes, now, we can give this person maybe 30% of the grant score, or 40% of the grant because he has achieved X, Y, Z. That's the way it goes. So all of these things, we build them in, even to the form of assessments. So they must not, don't forget, not too many and not too few. Not too few because you're asking, and let me also tell you something. Many of us always want to get 50 million naira, 49 million naira, 45 million naira. And then we try to weigh the objective you are trying to achieve. You also weigh it with the what? With your budgets. We look at XYZ budgets and we look at the amount. If it doesn't tally, then there's a lot of question mark. That concept note is not going to proceed. Your research methodology is very key. And concept notes. You see, the danger about concept note is that it's a very short document. It's not a big document. It's easier to assess. And everybody's writing about the same thing. That's the danger about concept notes. Everybody's writing about the same thing. You know, people are pumping things, a lot of that, and you're looking at it. There are all kinds of, a lot of concept notes about water, a lot of concept notes about power and energy, and all of that. And if you look at it, there are only a few things that are different there. And those few things that are different are what we are looking out for. And so you must be extra smart if you are coming up with a concept note that will actually sail through and go above that of your peers. And it comes in the area of research methodology. Don't just go to the internet and then you copy the research methodology of the internet and just done. You have seen quite a lot of them like that. People just go to the internet and then they copy research methodology. Very interesting, brilliant, but we will know that these things have been copied. Some even copy and copy wrongly. Some people copied their PhD research. PhD research. They copied and pumped it again for things that they have done about 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, or 7 years ago. They dump it again for NRF grants. Even one that has been completed, some copy it and even report it again using past tense. And tell us that these things has been analyzed. Unfortunately, we see all of these things there. So your research methodology is very key. It shouldn't be too bogus. You have to conceptualize it. You have to write it down your own way. And it has to be clear and definite. And it has to be current. Very current. To be able to address the issues. Assessors also check all of these things. They go on Google, they go on the internet, they go everywhere. The facilities are there to check all of these details. You even check wherever you have copied it from and all of that. That's why you have to be extremely careful with the research methodology. And potential for breakthroughs, innovation. What is the innovation there? What is new? What is novel? What is the new thing you are trying to address? Because even we see a lot of people are bringing the same idea, the same thought, the same thinking, the same research, the same focus, the same priority, everywhere. And that's why we are asking the question, what is new? What is novel? What is innovative about this research? The innovation can come in the area of the thinking, in the area of the application, in the area of the methodology. It can also come even in the area of the expected results. So what is the new thing we are trying to address? It's very important. Then, what expected project impact. Go on, please. Go on, please. Next slide, please. The competence of your research team. Your research team is very important. Let it be multidisciplinary. Let it be gender friendly. Bring in the people who are outside academia if it's possible. Bring in the external stakeholders if it's possible. Bring in people who are professionals if it's possible. If they are working on the area of IT, everybody shouldn't be like professors and professors and professors. You think it's an advantage, but it's a huge disadvantage. Because who are those that's why we ask who are the potential beneficiaries. We normally ask that question somewhere. Who are the potential beneficiaries? If the potential beneficiaries are somewhere there, let them come in right from the beginning. Then research becomes demand-driven. Then we'll see these are people now, they will contribute to it and all of that. And there's no point bringing all of them, making all of them professors. And all of them also are from the same area, the same field, and all of that. Nobody to look at it from a different perspective and all of that. So let it be gender friendly, let it be multidisciplinary in nature as much as possible, and then let there be also the potential for mentoring. That's very key. Who are the mentees there? Who are those that are going to benefit from it? And who are those that will actually work? If we put all of them professors, we can be sure that the PI may be the only person that will drive the project, and the project will not work at the end of the day. We have seen it happen many times. We have gone to places to be able to look at projects, and we have seen projects failing in many universities. And the reason is because the composition of the team was wrong at the initial. And so we take it very seriously. Who is the PI? Who are those that are going to work with him? Who are the mentees? Who are those in middle class, middle career, who are going to support this person? Who are those that will go to the field? Who are the people that will go to the field and then collect data and bring it? Who are those that will analyze the data? Who are the people that understand the analysis of data? Because that's very important. So all of these things we check from the team, the composition of the team. And then we'll see that this team is dysfunctional or it's not going to work, then we throw it out. The budget is also very key. The budget is very key. The budget must be realistic. It doesn't have to be 50 million. If what you do is 25 million, put it there. For as long as that's the worth of your work. If it's 70 million, put it there. For as long as that's the worth of your work. It sells much better. I tell you this, it flies higher. Because this person is realistic. This person knows what he's talking about. This is the worth of the project. Not because everybody is now asking for 49.9, 49.7, 49.8. You go for a project that is not worth more than 12 million naira. And those of us who are in IT, let's also be careful. You don't have to, and once you miss the area of budget, then we know that this project is not likely to succeed at the end of the day. So just be careful. If you are doing experimentation, if you are doing field work, you know it's going to cost you more. If you are going to collect data, then the scope is also important. Are you covering the entire geopolitical zones? And what are the reasons why you want to do that? Are you just looking at north and south? What are the reasons why you want to do that? Where are your experimental sites? Then why must you analyze outside the country? Because these are things that people take to us. Say, I want to take all my samples abroad, send to South Africa, and all of that. Why must you send to South Africa when you can analyze them in-house? Are you aware of even the equipment around us here, the universities around you? When you get to the proposal stage, there are a few questions we ask you. We say, can you tell us, are you aware of the equipment in nearby universities? How many of us have said it before? Because we want to be sure whether you're even aware of what happens at FUNAB, of what happens at the University of Lagos, what happens at the University of Ibadan, before you go to South Africa, or you go to analyze somewhere else. Then also we must be careful the amount of money we also put on all of this analysis. Because we have seen, this of us who are in sciences, a large chunk of the money goes for analysis. And most of the time, they are bogus. Most of the time, they are vague. Most of the time, there are things that can also be done in-house. So don't miss it in the area of budget. Please find out where can I do this thing in Nigeria first and foremost. You can do it in Nigeria and you are sure. Be sure. Once you are sure and equipment is there, then find out how much is it, get relevant documentations from it, get the appropriate price. You can have some little money, amount of money on top because of variation. And then you just put it there. We know all of these things. Now you can easily do the calculations. I will say, yes, this is realistic. If the budget is realistic, it's okay. If it's not realistic, there are question marks. And when you have question mark number 1, question mark number 2, question mark number 3 on the budget, then the entire concept will ask a lot of issues. So I don't want to take more of your time. We'll do so that Professor Ogen can also talk, especially because of the analysis. Then we can do interactive sessions, look at what you have submitted. I can assure you that we'll not be able to address all of those concept notes today. We'll look at them, we go with them, we keep looking at them as we go. There'll be a lot of interactive sessions, back and forth. Then we'll keep addressing them, correcting them, until we are sure that at this stage now, they are fit for submissions. Please just move on, I want to quickly round up. Yes, I said little things are important. Hold on. Last one. Previous one, please. Little things will count. Be very careful. One mark will make a difference. I've seen it. It's like when you are doing admissions, we're all academics, you're doing admissions, okay, you just cut off here at 89, and you see people scoring 88, and you're not happy. It pains you. It can be so painful. But there's nothing you can do about that. One mark can make a difference. You must be organized, and the competition is very steep, but it's doable. Once you do it right, and you do it right, especially in the area of concept notes, then you are good to go. Others have made it. Why not you? That's what I keep telling people. And you can always make it. I will provide all of the support. I want to round up, please. Just move on. Lots of time. That's the structure of the concept notes. The title is important. Don't drop marks there. You drop marks at title, you're dropping marks little by little. Title is free. It's a free mark. It's a bonus mark. You know why I say it's a bonus mark? Why should you drop marks in title? Why? So that's why you must get it right and get the maximum marks in the title. And the next one is your thematic area. Why should you submit your own thematic area? If you submit your own thematic area, then you drop marks. But that's unnecessary dropping of marks. It's like a bonus also. But once you get it right and you submit your right thematic area, then you get your full marks there. So you get your full marks in title, you get your full marks in thematic area, then you go to background of research. I told you before, that's also very important. You develop a new background and ensure that you get the full marks there, and you keep compiling your marks, harden up your marks like that. The statement of problem. Don't forget what I said about statement of problem. Very key. You must describe the problem. Science. Give us the numbers. Give us the figures. Be clear. Be definite. Don't blow too much grammar, too much English. You want to see the details of the problem you are trying to solve. The objectives, very clear. Not too many, not too few. That's also important. And of course, your research questions is a bonus mark. Research questions. Just turn your objectives around and turn them to questions form. Why should that be a problem for us? And many people will still give us, we say not less than 3. Some people will still give us 1 or give us 2. What does that mean? We say not less, anytime you hear not less than 3, you must know that that thing is likely to be 3 marks or 6 marks. If it's a multiple of 2, you need to get it down. Or 9 marks, if it's a multiple of 3. So, you say not less than, don't make it less than. If not, you just drop unnecessary marks. And once you have number 1, number 2, number 3, and it's well configured, then you get your full marks there. And that's how you keep getting your full marks. Literature review, be extremely current about it. Get as much information. Don't be doing redundant research that others have done. Get details about the research you want to do now as much as possible. Then your theoretical framework is also very key. It's just the science behind the problem you want to solve. So that you want to know that, yes, this person understands. You are not just a technologist, you are a scientist. Technologist goes to the field, and then it applies all of the things, gets the equipment there, and then collects data, analyzes. But the scientist is the one that understands the science behind the work he's doing, and that's why we are talking about the theoretical framework. The research methodology is also very key. Expected results, what are the results you're expecting? In the area of finance, how is it going to affect the economy of Nigeria? How is it going to affect the educational system of Nigeria? Are you going to train students, masters, PhDs? How is your university going to benefit from it? Those are the expected results. Innovation is also very key, like I said before. Is it novel? Is it new? What new things are you adding? How innovative it is also important. Your budget is very key. Your budget is very key. Of all of these things I'm talking about, research methodology carries the biggest marks of all of them. So, and that's why we don't joke with it also. If you miss it in research methodology, no way. The next thing is budget. Budget is also very key. Be realistic about it, get sufficient data, get correct situation about the finance. Don't just be speculative. Be real, don't be vague. Be real. Sit down and look at what you want to do. How many samples are you going to collect? Calculate all of them and do the analysis. How much is it going to be? If you're going to do statistical analysis, how much is it going to cost me? How many people are going to be on the field? How much are you going to pay them? How long will it be on the field? It's important. So do correct analysis, because these are things who will take our, what do you call it, calculators, and calculate all of them to be sure that these things are correct. Once they don't add up, bam, that's the end of it. So you don't be speculative, you must be very clear. The next thing is what? References. We say not less than 5 references. Why must you put 4 or 3 or 2? And some even waste all the time of this one and put 25 references. If you say not less than 5 and you put 24, will you get more than the maximum? And the danger behind that is that if you is not taking, you now shoot your what do you call it now, your concept above 1,500. So you know where to spare words, know where to maximize your words. Don't spare words in your research methodology because it's very huge. But don't waste time on the references. It's not more than 5, not less than 5. So why would you not put more than 5 or more than put 25 or 30 then? When you get the full proposal stage, it will give you sufficient time now to put all the proposal, all the references there, as much as you want to put it. And of course, the last one is the research team. I've talked about team. Then go on, I want to talk about it, one more slide. Yes. There are some concept notes that have been issued. They are not going to be assessed. I've seen cases of people who have submitted concept notes and their concept notes have been disqualified. Even at the point of administrative checks. And how painful can that be? And these are the reasons. If your concept note is more than 1,500 words, it should not go to any assessor to assess. Computer will count and disqualify that concept note right from onset. No waste of time. So I'm moving near 1,500. Some people say, when I counted it, it was 1,495. Why must you get to 1,495 in the first instance? Because your counting system is different from your another computer's counting system. That's the truth. That's the issue. Maybe you are not counting commas and countings and other things and all of that. So don't move near it. Don't move near anything you don't want to do. Don't move near it. If I were you, 1,400, fine. 1,420, fine. The more the closer you get to 1,500, the closer you are getting to disqualification. Because, bam, that's the end of it. Budget over 50 million naira. The people will request for 75 million naira. You say, okay, thank you very much. We don't give up to that. Go and meet Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Disqualified. So that we don't have up to that. Go and meet a World Health Organization. Disqualified. As simple as that. Nobody will assess it. PIs from statute-barred institutions and all of that. They can be part of your team, but they can't be PIs. And until that is changed, there's nothing we can do about it. So you are the PIs, but you can bring anybody from any university, Redeemer University, any research institute, even college of education, even polytechnic, as members of your team, even from the hospitals. They are working in the area of health. Anybody, they are working in the area of security, developing some security architecture, and all of that. You can bring in security experts into your team. Fine, but they cannot be PIs. If not, it will be disqualified. PIs that are not closed out from previous NRF grants. Once you have got NRF grants, and then you are not closed out officially, you cannot apply for any other NRF grant. The lack of endorsement, you must be endorsed, and then false declarations. You ask me why false declarations? Because people make false declarations. And that's the truth of the matter. People make false declarations, and at that point, once it's discovered, it is shut down. So it's as good as that. You can stop it at this point. It's as good as that. Is the first thing to avoid disqualification. Once you avoid disqualification, then number one mark. The second thing is to go to assessment. And then when you go to assessment, follow all of these issues, and then keep ranking your marks, keep ranking up your marks, keep ranking up your, don't drop marks unnecessarily like that. And then from top to bottom, best the maximum, as much as you can get. And before you know what is happening, you just write to and say, welcome to full proposal. Thank you very much.
I want to especially thank our speaker. I'm sure by now we have a very clear view of what the grant is all about and how to go about it. Now, because of our time, we are quickly going to do something. The work we now have to start. To groups now. So we are going to have two groups of the SETI and the HSS, especially those that are here with their concept notes. What they want is for us to present for 5 minutes, not more than that. Then they can easily look at our work, listen to what we have said, and make appropriate assessments and judgments. So for those that are in sciences and that have brought their concept notes, they'll be on this side. Professor Akinyemi will attend to them. They will present and they will get their feedback. Now for those that are in humanities and social sciences, we will be on this side. He's still going to make his own presentation, maybe talk about what has not been spoken as far as humanities and social sciences are. But the main focus is for us to now present our paper. So we have to be practical at this level because of our time. They came from far distance and they have to travel early enough so that they can get to their destination on time. So we cannot afford another round of presentation altogether. So based on that, let us work. Based on, the reason why we are here is to at least assess our documents, and also we should get that going now. So please, for SETI, that is science, engineering, technology, and innovations, please let us be on this side. For those of us that are in humanities and social sciences, let's be on the other side. Then you will be submitting the hard copy of your concept note to them, while they will look at it, and it is expected that you have another copy with you to present, or your soft copy to present. So you'll be presenting, and while they listen, you'll be able to make their necessary assessment. All right, thank you very much. So humanities and social sciences over there, please. Now, for those that are here in order to probably get some inspiration, get to know about what they want to write about,
we also decided to adopt this method because we want to make this exercise more practical and not theoretical. If I have to start talking for another 1 hour about the nitty-gritty, everybody will be bored because these are things that we already know. What is important is that the VC gave us a charge. We want a minimum of 10 NRF grants for OLABISI ONABANJO University for this particular grant. So we are thinking that if you are able to submit up to 30, 40 concept notes, and if half of that, 20, scales through, that means we'll be submitting 20 proposals. And from the 20 proposals, we can have our 10 grant, which is the charge that the VC has given us. My colleague has given a comprehensive research is the same, whether you have it in sciences, the parameters, the requirements are the same. So he has comprehensively covered everything that we need to do. But I need to tell you some personal reflections. Research is also about passion, so that is where we are going to start. Unless we are passionate about it, it will be extremely difficult. Most people start their research thinking about the money. Oh, NRF is giving 50 million. World Bank is giving, they are thinking about money. If you are thinking about that money, it becomes very difficult. Passionate researchers are ready to go and borrow money from cooperative, from bank, and pursue their line of research. And that's what makes all the difference. It's about passion. So that is the first thing that we need to understand. We should be passionate about it. Passionate about what we want to do. The second one is originality. What is it that you are saying that somebody has not said? That I cannot just go and get more than enough information. Currency, these things are critical, they are very, very important. So by the time we break into the session for people who are in the humanities, because in the humanities and social sciences, my colleague, sometimes they take 70% of the money that is available. We won't even get people in the humanities assessing our money, and then we'll give it back to them again. Because it's like the scientists now assume that they are more serious, they are the researchers, so we need to, create that kind of direct impression that even in the humanities, in the social sciences, we are also very serious scholars, serious researchers. So that is the little thing that I want to add before we consider the concept. If your concept note is not here, even if it is the idea that you want to discuss, you are welcome. We will still guide you and tell you what to do so that later you can send it to us. Maybe via WhatsApp or email, and then we'll look at it. So thank you very much.
So we are already at
I thought, okay, that part of 29, but we don't want to present now. Is that what you're saying? Huh? Yes. Yes, we did not submit. So your own was only part of 29. Good. So now you can present. Yes. Yes, we are okay. You are okay. And think through it as if you are doing it. If not, you're going to miss out on the not. There's a reason why I said that earlier. I hammered it. So think through it and let's have, you must have an idea of the number of infrastructure sites you have at the end of the research. And I want you to be clear it. If you leave it like this, you say that it's hanging. And what is a hanging? You cannot be sure that you don't know the result. So you want to see the clarity of your project result. Those sense of community, yes, that's what because can't measure that ground at this point. Innovation and community development and employment generation. How? And it just so at the end of your 2 years, are you give us an idea of how many people have been employed? Exactly. So when we are looking at the special result, we want to see this clarity there. I'm emphasizing this because I didn't talk about that when I was talking about the first week. So your expected results must be even is a concept note. It shouldn't be heavy. You must think through the research. As at the end of the 2 years, this is what was. For example, if I say at the end of those 2 years, I will have trained 8 masters. Do you get it? You can say I will train masters in this point. That's not again. I will train 3 MSc degrees. Or I've trained 1 PhD degree. That's the most important. Or this research have led to an increase in employment generation by X percentage. It doesn't have to be so. You understand that you must have taught you and level of concept. So that's very important. I think all the questions should be there. Plus other comments you can make them. And then the other thing is that what I'm seeing here, we don't work what times.
Yes, sir.
What is it?
1,600.
I know it's more than 1,000. I don't need to count it. I don't need to count it to know that this one is disqualified at the point of submission. So there are a few things I need to know. We don't need to check. Just know that this one is off mark. So please take note. It can be painful when you do all of the wahala. And at the end of the day, you submit as if it's going. So please go and follow it out. And then you are basically going to work. So these are not necessary. But we'll keep on it. We always look at it. Yes, let's finish.
God does not human to a copy of the concept. And Dr. William from the Faculty of Farms, Management, Administration and Management Science. The title of my research is Development and Evaluation of Cooperative Framework for Production Efficiency of Cassava Fields, Gari, in Southwest Nigeria. And from the book of the title, we have 3 aspects of it that are very talking about cassava production. We are talking about evaluating the involvement of cooperative activities or cooperative model into it, or cooperative modeling, and then we want to see how we can solve the problem of resource sufficiency among the farmers. Generally, we know that cassava is a major agriculture and storage. Cassava is a major staple food, especially in the southern region of Nigeria, and it forms a major aspect of the food basket of the rural populace. And we know that cassava is being produced mainly in Nigeria today by smallholder farmers who are usually resource poor. And so, because of the lack of adequate resources we have, there is a need to model them into, or there is a need to bring them up into cooperative model to be able to resolve this problem because of the lack of financing, the lack of adequate resources that they have. And so, cooperation, that is where the issue of cooperation comes in. And especially we want to look at, we saw what happened in the olden days, during the period of AGO-IWOYE, where they brought up the concept of farm settlement. And we can see that nowadays that concept is far, it's not operational again. And so we want to see how we can bring the farmers together and model them into cooperative activities to be able to resolve the problem of cassava production and cassava processing. We have 7 objectives in the research work. 3 of them are in the short run and 4 of them in the long run. Methodology, we tend to carry it out in the southwest Nigeria and working on 4 states: Ogun State, Oyo State, Oyo State, and Ondo State. And we are going to work with the framework of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, where we are going to get the number of existing registered cooperative societies. And we want to actually evaluate what we are doing, what is operating among the cassava farmers, and then see how we can model them and then bring up cooperative models that will be functional. So at the end of the research, we will be able to see what the kind of cooperative that farmers have been practicing, and the one that we are able to bring up together, how and compare what was with what we are going to come up with, and then from that viewpoint we will measure the efficiency of what was and then what we are bringing together, and then we will compare them and see and be able to make some recommendations on that. Our budget is a little below, it's about 31 million naira, and we have 5 people in the research. We have a senior lecturer, we have about 2 of us in the core field of agriculture and cooperative, 1 person from the field of banking and finance, another person in the field of accounting, and the 1 other person who is a female from the field of cooperative management. And we intend to involve 2 institutions, and another institution in the 2 states, and then Thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so the title you have to pay very close attention to it. One thing you also have to take note of is NRF is as much as possible aim for having a national spread, especially support the sciences. You're going to carry out experimental work. You're going to have some sites and all of that, as much as possible. Try to have national spread as much as possible.
Well, nobody wants to go to Boko Haram territory.
I understand what you're saying. But at the same time, that's why I said as much as possible. As much as possible, try to have some national spread. Because we are solving the national topic. So, we are not saying you should have all the 60 political zones, but try to also look outside the political zone as much as possible, so that you are not just concentrating the result of possible within a particular area. If you are sure that whatever result you are going to get within your geopolitical zone is not going to be different by any means from any other geopolitical zone, then there's no point doing that. You don't just do it for doing sake. But if you think that if you carry out and repeat the experimental work outside your geopolitical zone, it's going to give you an opportunity to look at your research results and analyze it better. It's better you consider other geopolitical zones. It's important because you must have some level of national spread. I'm saying this with a lot of emphasis. You never know who's going to research it, who's going to access the work. We get on them say that there's somebody else who knows that this is a good work. What is done in this particular place, what is done in this particular place, perhaps we give the hands to work, then we may suffer some setback. So that's why I'm saying that. For this particular one, as we are presenting, I was thinking about it, I'm not sure whether you know the hands to work live outside this particular place. But think about it. Let's do this thing about it. Obviously, if you live outside your geopolitical zone, you have to put in on security, like Prof said. Of course, it's going to be costly. There's no doubt about that. They're not saying you should go to Zambisa Forest. And if you go there, why not? It's research. Research is risky anywhere. So, then somebody was carrying out research, you don't know about the security problems. So, but I'm just saying that, just be careful. So I think those are and again, this work is also through body. It's also through what we do in one seat. So the title, we need to work on the title. Sorry, who's the best presentation? Sorry, what's the best presentation? So we have another university in Tristan. So about all the members of the team, I think the economy is telling you. So there's a video there, there are also security there. So we discuss that. So please, just tidy it up. Please, those of us who are presenting, we'll tidy it up as fast as we can. If it's possible before maybe tomorrow or in 2 days time, we'll give it to the director of this and let it send to us. Latest by today's Monday. Latest by Wednesday. So we'll send it back to you before the end of the day. You can do some work again and send it to us again at cost if it's possible. We will send it back to you at cost so I can get it ready for submission. All right. Yes, sir.
well, sir. Thank you, sir. Well, we studies have established that when cement are produced and the dust gets into the atmosphere, it contains a lot of harmful metals like nickel, lead, and the rest of them. And people living within the area, one, people when they produce cement, oftentimes they go above what is required. That is the minimum tolerable level. And so children living around that place, we haven't really been studied, and we know that in recent times, so I thought that children living around that place should be studied. It's going to be a case control, and it will involve adolescents who are 0 to 19, or we can extend it to young adults of 24 years of age, so that we know for how long they have been there. It's going to be case control. Then we look for case match, age and sex match, then control people who are not living in that area. The specific objective is for us to find the prevalence of renal disease among children who are living in this community. Also to determine the level of heavy metals like nickel, mercury, cadmium, and arsenic acids in the blood of these children with each sex match control, and also to assess the impact of this exposure on renal function in these exposed children. The methodology will need to enter the community. First of all, have a meeting, identify community aids, identify somebody at the cement that we can use also to give us some information. And then we need to draw a questionnaire, ask them questions, how long they have been living there and all that. And then we need to take blood samples to assess this level. And the immediate short term will be for us to know what is the level of these dangerous metals that they have, and then what is the effect on the kidney. The long term will be reducing the prevalence of renal diseases amongst children, thereby saving a lot of national money on how much we spend on treating children who have chronic diseases, like dialysis and transplant and all of them. The team will consist of myself as a pediatrician, the chemical pathologist, lab technicians, the community leader, and a member from the cement factory, as well as the resident doctors who work with me. I am yet to finalize the budget because the prices of the kits keep changing. Thank you, sir.
All right, let's give a look at it. Volume of the renal disease is a very huge one. It's a very huge one. It's really very expensive. We've also seen a lot of, we have funded a lot of research on chronic diseases.
There's somebody there that has a sharper voice. So that will be your official
Okay. Can you do that? Yeah, so we are trying to build a data-driven platform to preserve our cultural heritage. That is the intangible part. That is the language and music. So we believe that cultural identities of people, that music and language, they identify people. So when we sing a certain song or we speak a certain language, we believe that the cultural side of the person is already identified. So
air pollution, so put all of this one when you assist them and you support you. If you have any of them, bring them in so that they can also provide information in ensuring that you have the concept. So I think that's so you have to work on the team, composition as it is. The budget we are yet to conclude, we have to conclude it. The ethical clearance is very key for this kind of work. So ethical clearance is very key. And I'm sure you don't have any problem with that. Getting blood samples from those centers.
That's the one reason why PTA meeting or the committee that
Now, one major thing you have to figure out is there any evidence as we speak now that the children in the cement producing areas come down to the river problems? Okay, so you have to get it. That is what is going to enhance your statement of the problem. So that it doesn't look like a completely, what do you call this? Not big, no, not theoretical. Something like that. I'm looking for a word, but something like that. So get go to the literature and see you can get us some good data where that's happening, how it has happened, even if it's a percentage of people that happen, even if it's 10% or 1% of those who live in that area that come down is enough. But it can so burdensome and so expensive to manage. So please, so that will help you to enhance your statement of the problem. And then you get some other. So you are a pediatrician. Who are those working in the area of what do you call this right now? Nephrologist or something?
Yes, as a pediatrician, you see general children have specific area, and that's what I said. I look after children in the.
That's what you do. So that's fine. So you can just submit it that way. How you look at it, but you have to. And you can get my email or also submit it to the record of this. Also send it.
I came to learn and I've joined different teams to work with them. So unfortunately, most of them are not yet. So they just got me and they dropped this opted. However, I also have a concept in notes that I developed myself, which is basically why I came here. So I will start with the one I'm expecting here. Our title, I strictly go to the title. We are going to be exploring the field-scale application of biosurfactants. Exploring the field-scale application of biosurfactants for effective biosorption and bioremediation in Nigeria for sustainable environmental. Yes, I will. We are on category 2, setting, like you said, for thematic area 22, sustainable use of natural resources and terrestrial ecosystem. What are the statements of committing to this country? Okay, so we are faced with lots of problems in Nigeria, including environmental challenges, and one prominent one is the contaminants from oil spills, industrialized discharges, and of course, and other household waste. And these pollutants have caused a lot of damage to our ecosystem and greatly impact the well-being of both us and the environment. Right. So what are the key components? There are hazardous contaminants that accumulate in environment, the microplastics, which is very popular, the organic pollutant, the forever chemicals, which has not been paying much attention to in Nigeria and has been banned globally in most developed countries. Of course, the hydrocarbons, toxic heavy metal, and pharmaceuticals and personal care products, where we have all these forever chemicals. So they keep increasing, but that does not mean that they have not made efforts in Nigeria, despite the efforts made. The conventional cleanup, the procedures, the use of synthetic surfactants are proven to be very expensive and ineffective, and also pose extra environmental hazards, and then the subsequent accumulation of these challenges. So we are coming up with urgent application of a specific pollutant-tailored biosurfactant on a field scale in all states of the Federation. We'll be considering the 6 geopolitical zones. I'll be picking the industrialized areas or where we have majorly high volume of contaminant based on the statistics available to us from the Ministry of Environment. We're going to bring somebody on board to do that for us. For example, Lagos, industrialized rivers where we have oil spills, and the north where we have a lot of pollutant and pulp. Then after the statement of problems, methodology, yes. Our methodology will include, before I go there, this is the first time we are going to be optimizing the present method to take it to a large scale. So it's not innovative methodology, we are going to be optimizing kind of an innovative mediated methodology. So I quickly run through the methods.
Created a lot of issues over among the old and the young ones. And we all know that government has continuously provided subsidies towards agricultural productivity. And government over time, yes, subsidy. So government over time, they have tried to boost agricultural products by giving farmers fertilizer, money, this and that and that. But it has been documented that there's a lot of fraud around this area. Yes, fraud around this area in terms of the misallocation of funds, corruption, and lack of transparency. And this is because government has been using the traditional fiscal policy to do that. And this study, this project want to look at a blockchain technology that will enhance transparency and efficient allocation of resources to farmers in southwest Nigeria, and hereby enhancing the production of agricultural products, and there will be food security. And this is anchored on SDG 2, no hunger, and target 2.2, achieving food security. Now we want to develop a system, a software. Our methodology is to develop a blockchain software for specific state agricultural subsidy program, and want to access about 1,800 Arab poor farmers among the 6 southwest states in pre and post implementation. So we are going to use mixed method. We are going to use both quantitative analysis. We are using qualitative analysis. The qualitative analysis is that we want to look at the impact of blockchain integration on subsidy efficiency and agricultural productivity using econometrics techniques. The qualitative analysis, we want to conduct stakeholder interviews and focus groups to assess the blockchain implementation challenges and benefits. We also want to look at part of the methodology. We want to employ plot implementation that will develop and implement a type of blockchain system in southwest Nigeria and also monitor its performance. And after that, we evaluate the data for transparency, accountability, productivity, and food security improvement. And the innovation in this work is that we are trying to bring in the blockchain technology directly into the subsidy distribution process in Nigeria, not like the traditional one that we are using currently in Nigeria. And our team as follows. We carefully look at the team. We have myself, economist. I specialize in fiscal policy and applied econometrics. Then we have Professor Shakir Akibode, who happens to be an agric economist from FUNAB, and is on agricultural policy and development. We also have Professor Saida Onoshoga from FUNAB, who is a computer scientist and information security. She has worked on blockchain technologies. And we also have the Richard Aboshade, who is the director of research here, and he is into criminology and physiology. And we also have Sekina Folomsho, who is into artificial intelligence and machine learning, so that we make sure that the software is working properly to be able to capture the selected farmers. And we also have Michael, who is a senior lecturer from a political science from from FOYE. And we have Ahmed Sulaiman, who is our computer programmer, and who is the one that will work with Professor Saida in developing the software along with Sekinat. So those are the budget. The budget is currently 45.5 million, and the reason for the budget is because of the development of the software that will be developed in each state in southwest Nigeria. And the software is going to have 3 interfaces, where we have the government portal, the stakeholder portal, and the farmer portal. Thank you.
Which thematic area is your project?
I think
security. Okay, I think food security. Who is the agriculturist there? Because all the you mentioned there, there's none of them that is agriculturist. Everybody is an economist.
Yes, just economist. Yes, so it's an agriculture.
Okay. Everybody is an economist. You are an economist. You have computer scientist. You need a surgery on that composition of your team. To do some work there and get through some response. So we are going to submit to agri and food security. That's one. Number 2 is that we are very willing to give 45 million naira to projects on developing applications and developing IT solutions. Extremely very willing. We're not likely to get that kind of money. That's what we're like. So you need to sit down and look at what exactly you need to do. And if you are putting that kind of money there, 2 things we're always careful of is that we think that this person does not even understand the nitty-gritty of developing these applications. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about what you normally do on behalf of our clients. So you have to sit down with people like Professor Mishoga and the other person. Let them tell you what exactly is going to take. It's not good. You will not need up to that. There's no doubt about that. You are not going to need up to that. You're not going to need up to that. So, and if the budget is questionable at that point, it will affect even the quality of the solution. You have to get the budget right. You know, I hammered it when I was talking about it. There are this of us who are developing apps, working on IT and all of that. You need to be very careful.
We have completed the workshop part per se. That is in terms of presentation of different ideas that we have. And I'm sure by now we know the prospect of our different concept notes. Now, the very important information now is we need to make adjustments based on what has been discussed in our different groups and send the corrected version of our concept notes to the director, who will in turn forward them to our facilitators. Now, this has to be done within 3 days. So we really have to be very fast about it. I said earlier that the deadline for submission at the Tetfund end is on Friday next week. So we have to work within this time and next week, and because of that, we have to be very fast. Our aim or the idea is for us to finish everything and submit by Monday next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so that we don't wait for the final day and encounter some problems that will actually emanate from the final day issue. So because of that, we have to work within that time. So please, by Wednesday, I believe that whatever corrections we need to make in respect of our concept note should have been done. And I will be sending the email for you to send it to on our platform. We already have a platform for the concept note. So I will send my email to that very platform for you to now return your concept notes and for me to now send to the appropriate speaker and facilitator. Like I said earlier, they are going to work with us to ensure that our concept note is perfected. So even if there is still some issues or some things to correct, they will still get back to us on it. And if you are sending, please put your email so they can send it directly to you. Probably you will understand it better, especially for people in sciences. Whatever they explain may not actually be very clear to me. So please put your email so that I can easily forward, or they can even forward directly to us. Thank you very much for your participation, and we look forward to your submissions. All right, goodbye. Thank you, everybody.